All Looks like everything's working, I think. I see audio, I see a little background noise, I see an overhead camera, I see a profile camera, I see a PC instructions. That's interesting that that is frozen like that. I wonder why. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, there it goes. So why? Oh look, there it works. What's up, Drew? Tonight's gonna be fun. We're gonna play a game called How Much Tito's Before I'm Incapable of Building Lego Anymore. Audio is a bit soft. All right, well we can turn that up, I think. I guess it also depends on, like, if it's using this for audio, which it should be. It might not be. So I bet we can fix that. Let's see, common audio devices, audio in. Uh-oh. I think it is, but I just had the stream go dark on this side, and I don't know if that's just for me or for everyone. That's interesting. Oh, I know why. There we go. Y'all should see it come back. Okay, that's just because I was messing around with the audio. I just want to make sure that that's actually using the right. That one is what it should be using. All right, is that any better from an audio standpoint? It should be a little bit louder. I suppose I can figure out how to turn that up if I need to. Are there any filters on that? Nope. Not a single one. Not a single one. Yeah, all right, we're gonna make it louder. What's gonna be the easiest way to do that? I suppose let's try doing it through Windows and just see if we can't jack that headphone or, oh, is that the issue? Let's try that. That's my default. That's my default. That's my default. Then we make it a little bit louder. How's that? Is that better? Because that should be a lot more gain thrown in there. So hit me up in chat. Let me know if that sounds a little better than it did before. Much better. Excellent. The magic of OBS. All right. So here's the deal. Let's All right, how's that? There we go. So the video is not frozen. The video is actually a still picture of the pile of Lego that I had over there, because trying to bring it over here was just going to be kind of a huge pain in the ass. Or trying to take the camera and wander around with it and hope that it didn't screw anything up over NDI. So it's just a still picture of kind of the pile of stuff that's over there. So we've got lots of options. We've got, what is that? The Mandalorian ship is down on the bottom. We've got Dom Toretto's Charger from Fast and the Furious. We've got all three of the new helmets that they released. So that's the Probe Droid, the Speeder Bike Scout helmet, and Darth Vader. We've got two of the Discovery shuttles. We've got a typewriter. We've got an R2-D2, and then the two little boxes are just like extras that they threw in. It's like a mini version of the little Adidas shoe, which I feel like I don't really want to build, because there's nothing Adidas in this entire house, and I feel like I'd be cheating on my boys at Nike if I pulled that one out. And then the other one I think is just a little roadster or something. So nothing crazy, but we got to. I figure we got to start somewhere, so we might as well pick something. So let's go back here. Any suggestions? Any requests? Any of those look interesting? I know a bunch of folks. I've seen a bunch of folks in my Twitter feed working on the space shuttle and the R2-D2. I think I saw Scott Hanselman working on the typewriter. Haven't seen anybody do the helmets, and those are actually really quick builds. I think I did the original three pretty quickly. Haven't seen anybody do the Mandalorian ship yet. Haven't seen anybody do the Fast and the Furious yet, but I don't care. All right, what do we got? Drew says, I'd love to see the R2-D2 or one of the helmets. Any requests, Al? The helmets. The helmets take time. Interesting. I did, what are the other ones? Boba Fett and a Stormtrooper and something else that I've got over there. And helmets didn't seem to take too long. But yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll do the helmets. I think we'll save R2-D2 for a time where like we just kind of dedicate it to that. I do have Mando's ship, Drew. It's the white box there on the bottom underneath the three helmets, which I don't remember buying. I don't honestly know where that came from. It showed up at the house, and so I must have bought it at some point. I probably needed to get over a certain dollar threshold to get some sort of like one of the extras or the May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Extra or whatever it was. And so I picked that one up. It's not a UCS, so it's kind of weird for me. Like usually if I get one of the big Star Wars ships, it's one of the UCS models, but who knows? All right, let's go knock out some helmets. All right, give me a minute. I'm gonna go grab all 3 of the helmets and we'll set them over here, and we'll just get started and we'll plow through. Yeah, and I agree, Drew. They're bite-sized, which is good. They're also not super technically difficult builds. Like the Technic cars, I finished the Bugatti, the Veyron, and they are incredibly actually demanding builds to put together. And I'm not here for that tonight. So let me go grab the helmets, and I'll be right back. All right, hang with me. I'll be right back. All right. All right. So here's the 3. I don't know. Like this one, it bothered me that all 3 of these came together. Like even these ones say helmet collection, and this one obviously doesn't say helmet collection because it's not a helmet. but they kind of put it all in the same mix, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So what do we got? We've got the Darth Vader helmet, which is 834 pieces. We've got the Scout Trooper helmet, which is 471, and then the Imperial probe droid, which is 683, which is kind of the Goldilocks. And yeah, I can imagine that the Scout was easier, the two helmets, because it's literally just a little bit over half the pieces. I mean, this one here looks like it's hefty, and it's got kind of the ring that goes around it. So we're gonna do the Imperial probe droid, and the reason that I think we're gonna do the Imperial probe droid is honestly I just want to get it out of the way. It doesn't look terribly hard. Anything that has like rings like that with stuff off of it is always kind of problematic to put things together. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not very excited about it, so in typical military brat fashion, we're just going to do it as fast as we can and get done with it. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we got the probe droid. Look, they've even got footage from Empire Strikes Back on there. It's got a little fake Ultimate Collector Series plaque on it. All right, so before we get too far in there, let's, oh, that is you. And we're gonna exit full screen, and we're gonna go to lego.com. Well, I'll be honest, Al, I'm not expecting a super fun build, but like they've got to get done. They've been sitting in boxes over there. Probe, droid. They've been sitting in boxes over there for an embarrassing amount of time, and we just need to get it finished. So we're going to take the probe droid. Nope. Come on. We're going to scroll down. We're going to find, where's my instructions? Building instructions. We're going to download the instructions. We're going to save this to the desktop. We're going to close out of the browser. We're going to open you up. And we're going to full screen you. So, there we go. Yeah, I want to say it was double points, or it was buy all three of them, or it was one of the May the 4th be with you, or get down there. It was something like that. And again, like, don't get me wrong, it's going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it. I just, I'm not super expecting this to be wonderful. And I need a knife. Hold on, be right back. All right. Let's, here's a good question. Oh, come back here. Are we doing those? Trying to figure out, like, why is that upside down? There's no reason for that to be upside down. So we're going to take it. We're going to transform it. We're going to rotate 180 degrees. No, we're going to leave it alone. That's fine. I don't know why. It just looks weird to me. It felt flimsy. Yeah, well, and especially compared to the other helmets, which you could literally play football with. Like, we could play catch with them and they're not going to fall apart. And yes, more Tito's is absolutely almost always the answer. So here we go. Let's put that up there. And let's see what we got. All right. We've got a book. We've got a whole bag of little garbage pieces. That's going to be fun. Two bags of garbage and stickers and an instruction booklet that we certainly don't need, so we'll throw it on the giant pile of them under the table. What do we see? 4 and 5 appear to just be like trim. Like, there's actually surprisingly few pieces in there. 6 looks like a big deal. 1, 2, and 3. 1 looks like the platform, 2 looks like the core, 3 looks like all the crap that hangs off of it. So, we'll see. We'll go ahead and get started. It's only 6 bags. I figure that's enough for a first drink. All right. Let's. Yep, I was right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1's going to be the platform. Let's turn up the music at least a little bit. And get started. Got our Lego tool. Don't know what to do without yet another Lego tool. Feels like it's been forever since I goofed off with the Legos. It's like a mental health day. I like that they, maybe it's just because they're white on white, but I like that they're highlighting the pieces that are being added. Nope, it's not just the white ones. They're highlighting the pieces that are getting added. I wish they did that with all of the models. I wish they'd done it with that damn Bugatti. Because you are not wrong, Drew. That was easily That was easily the most complicated Lego build I have ever done. Hands down. I think it was fun, I enjoyed it, but it was like the idea that you screw up one piece of it and all of a sudden you're digging back through and ripping stuff apart in order to be able to fix it. Once it got done, it was pretty cool, but it was definitely no joke putting it together. Alright, and you go there, and you go there. There. I don't know. I don't think, I'm trying to remember, like I don't know that I've ever used the Lego app. I mean, I used it, I have an MOC of the Serenity, of the Firefly class, the ship from Firefly, and I used it for that, and then like turned it into like actual directions and kind of did the whole thing with it. But I haven't touched the app, I don't believe, since then. The 3D views is kind of cool. This app on my iPad. Now you're just being a jerk. iOS view. iOS app. Blah, blah, blah. Some of us are not elitist Americans when it comes to our choice of phones. Can't speak for everyone though. I just kind of made myself laugh there. That was pretty funny. All right. Are all of these pointing the same way? No. Good. There's there. All right. Stack. And over there. One, two. Yep, right there. All Why do you gotta do that? Why do you gotta even bring up the sneakers app? Of course, my most recent devastating L wasn't even on the sneakers app. It was on Travis Scott's goddamn website, where I saw a story this morning about two guys who apparently built something that got around the bot protection, and I want to say they copped like 2,000 pair of them, like all directly off of what am I missing here? Did I miss something back here? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. Pretty sure I missed that. Okay. Now I feel better. Yeah. 2,000 pair of them. Apparently they copped so many of them that they were basically setting the price on StockX and Goat to whatever it was that they wanted, because they controlled so much of the inventory that all they had to do was kind of collectively set them all at $2,000, and there wasn't anything that anyone could do about it, which just makes me want to be a bad guy, you know? Makes me want to say, okay, if this is how the sneaker game is going to work, I'm capable. I have all the privilege and resources in the world. I could go do that, but then I don't think I'd like myself very much. No, I don't know how many pairs were released. I mean, I don't even know. It's rare that you ever hear like an actual answer, you know? Like, it's rare that we ever hear at all. Like, I was hoping, and maybe it still will, like I was hoping that the Travis Scott lottery release was going to just be kind of the early release, and then at some point they'll do another release that I can also take a loss on directly in the sneakers app. But who knows? Who knows? That sneakers app, man. Like, it just, I don't know, takes some of the joy out of it, which is a shame. Certainly turns it into more of a business than it needs to be. Oh, I don't know if I told you. I went to Seattle a couple weeks ago to visit some friends, and apparently in Seattle, in downtown Seattle, in the capital area, there right in the middle, there is a boba tea shop that was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible. That has a private boutique, like, fashion store. I mean, it's basically half shoes and half, like, you know, hyped up Supreme stuff and Kors stuff and all sorts of crazy things. But it has no, like, there's no door. There's no like, you have to be escorted. You have to go into the boba tea shop and ask to go see the store, and then they let you into the store. And it was pretty awesome. It was the first time I've been in something like that, I think, really since I started getting serious about picking up pairs. And it was interesting to see how many pairs of the stuff that they had in there that I already had, to the point where, like, we talked a little bit about some of the stuff that I had, and I was interested to see, like, do they consign? Like, if there were some pairs that I wanted to get rid of, you know, could I send them to them and let them do the selling, or, you know, especially for the higher dollar stuff that you know, isn't as easy to find. But it was pretty cool. It was definitely a first for me. Kind of a cool store like that. It was fun. It was weird to go into a store where everything wasn't in my size. Like, that's the part about you know, collecting online that I think people overlook, is, like, I can jump on and immediately, like, go find everything that's in an 11.5. And I went into this shoe store, and it was great. It was awesome. There's so much cool stuff in there, and then you realize that there were only like 5 pair that were in my size, and I already had all 5 of them. So it was like, I miss miss being able to sort on StockX by here's what size I want, which is kind of ridiculous, but there we are. No, we're missing a piece. Not wonderful. Did I use a two-piece or should I use this guy? Very possible. Let's go see. I did. So this one here should be this one right here. And you go back on there. And question here. Did you drive to Washington? No, I didn't drive to Washington this time. I took the kids on a road trip the week of 4th of July. And we, my kids are 13 and 15. 13 and almost 15. And we've never really done the road trip thing. We've done lots of really cool vacations. And they've gotten to see some of the world. We've certainly, they're actually in Orlando with their mom this week, so we've certainly done plenty of, there we go, it's not bad. Plenty of the Disneys and whatnot. But we'd never really done a road trip. And it's always one of those things that, especially with kids these days, it's always a little bit of a crapshoot as to whether they're going to like it, whether it's going to work out, whatever. And we decided to do the road trip for a couple reasons. One, we'd never really done one before, so before the kids get too old, before they're old enough to tell me to fuck off, I figured it was probably a good idea to give it a try and see what happens. And for 4th of July, we normally go to my brother and sister-in-law's place and do fireworks, and we weren't going to do that this year. So it was just kind of an open week in the schedule. So we started out. We went from Charlotte to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and I have become, over the last couple years, particularly since my first pandemic-inspired road trip last summer, I've become a huge fan of national parks. The whole national park system is pretty damn awesome, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to see that we don't always don't always take advantage of, and I've been trying to for the last couple of years. So we went to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and we visited one of the 3 pieces of the Manhattan Project museum. There's a piece in Oak Ridge, there's a piece in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and there's a piece at Hanford Nuclear Reactor in eastern Washington State. And so it was fun. There's a lot of extra pieces here that make me feel like I missed something while I'm running my mouth. It was fun. It was a really cool little museum. It was a lot of fun to kind of expose the kids to, the overall. I mean, I think everybody had a really good time with the whole process. Yep, I missed that one. And even my daughter, after the first day, she was like, I was pretty cranky about this whole thing, but it actually ended up coming out where she appreciated it and was, thankful that we got a chance to go do it, and that was good. So we stopped at Oak Ridge. We did the thing there, and then we went to St. Louis. And in St. Louis, we did the Gateway Arch, which is just amazingly cool if you've never been there. We did the Gateway Arch, and we did the Dred Scott Courthouse, where Dred Scott and his wife basically sued for citizenship and said that people weren't property, and lost. Actually went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court came back and said, nope, doesn't matter that you made it out of the South, you belong to somebody and you need to go back. And it's kind of a very weird part of our history, pretty shitty part of our history. So we did those 2, and then that was the 4th of July. We can go to the top of the arch. It required reservations, and we didn't have them, and it was 4th of July and it was packed. So we didn't get to go to the top, which I was kind of bummed about. And the kids were nice enough not to pick on me, because Gretchen was just flat out, I'm not doing that. Once she saw that they're custom cars and they fit in the triangle shaped thing of the arch and they go to the top, she was like, yeah, I'm out. But it was open. It was open, at least in limited fashion. I'm confident that there are just pieces that I missed here while I was running my mouth. I'm absolutely confident. And then we saw the fireworks, the 4th of July fireworks off of the 3 giant barges in the Mississippi River as they light up the sky, which was super cool. And I've got a really good video of the entire kind of fireworks extravaganza, which my daughter's not huge on the explodey stuff, but even she was pretty stoked by how cool the whole fireworks display was. So we did St. Louis, and then we headed kind of straight north. We could even stand under it and look up and see the arch moving. But like any tall building does that. You go do One World Trade Center, or you go do any of them, and it moves. The Sears Tower, or whatever they're calling it now, in Chicago was the same way. I guess maybe there's just a lot of extra pieces on this one. But we headed north out of St. Louis and up through Iowa, right along the Nebraska border, and up into South Dakota. And then from South Dakota, we headed directly west over to is it Idaho? No, not Idaho Falls. Rapid City? Nope, that's Iowa. Rapid Falls. I don't know. It's the biggest town that's right there outside of Mount Rushmore. And we did Mount Rushmore, and we did Badlands National Park, which is just bananas cool. And we drove by Devil's Tower, and then so we did like a whole day there in South Dakota, and then we headed directly across to Yellowstone. So we stayed the night there, and then that night we just drove straight across and stayed just north of the northern entrance to Yellowstone Park. And we did a full day at Yellowstone, which was super cool. We got to see the Yellowstone Falls. We got to see the Yellowstone Canyon, where the park got its name. We got to see Old Faithful, which I'd never seen before. I've been to Yellowstone before, but I'd never seen it before. And it was surprisingly awesome. Like, it was surprisingly cool for just being a geyser, but just the geyser was nuts. I think even the kids were impressed, and impressing 13-year-olds and 15-year-olds with nature stuff is always interesting. But it was really cool. It was surprisingly cool. And from there, we drove from Yellowstone to Salt Lake City, and then we flew home from Salt Lake City to Charlotte. And so it ended up being, I think, 6 days, maybe 5 days, and then that last travel flying day. And it was really cool. Like, both of the kids came home with head colds, but I think they really enjoyed the hell out of it, and I enjoyed that we got to do it. And it was cool enough that even they were asking, like, hey, when's the next time we can do this? Like, could we fly to Salt Lake City and like pick up from there and go do Utah has, I want to say 3 or 4 amazing national parks, Arches and Canyonland and Zion, and maybe Petrified Forest is in Utah. But we can go, like, there's so much stuff to do in that part of the country. And like, you could take an entire week and just do California. Like, just go from, the what's all the way at the bottom? Probably Death Valley, all the way up through the Marin Headlands and the redwood forests up there north of San Francisco. So there's a ton. Is it in Arizona? Yeah, I figured it might be. So if you leave out of, and I'm trying to picture the map in my head, if you leave out of Zion and you continue south out of Utah, you come into Arizona, and then Petrified Forest should be east from where you cross into Arizona. I just didn't know if it was still in Utah or if it had dropped down and was in Arizona. But I mean, there was so much other stuff that I wanted to show them. The Colorado National Monument is amazing. Rocky Mountain National Park is okay. You have to have reservations to even get in, which is kind of weird to me. But the Great Sand Dune National Park is incredible. And then you go down into New Mexico, and you've got Los Alamos, and you've got Bandelier, and you've got White Sands National Park, and then you've got the caverns, and you've got Guadalupe National Park down on the Mexican border. There's just so much so much cool stuff out there. And that's even just going from Utah east. You know, you go Utah west and you've got Death Valley and you've got everything through, through Southern California, which is all sorts of fun. But it was a good trip. And part of it was just kind of a nod to, what do we want to do that is reasonably COVID friendly, and something that was interesting and fun for the kids. And I think we kind of knocked it out of the park. But the trip I got back with the kids, and we had a great time. And then the kids go back to their moms, and I just kind of sit around and go, I have nothing to do. All I need is a laptop to work, and I have this giant house that is just quiet and has nobody in it. What should I do? And so, of course, what I did was go find my friends who have an 8-month-old baby, and say, I would love to come babysit for you as much as you need me to, because I need more noise in my life, I guess. And so that's what I did. I went to Seattle, hung out with the baby, built one of my friends' new offices. He got a new job and built him a home office along with his wife, and surprised him with that. It was a good trip. And then went from Seattle to Denver, and finally got to see a concert at Red Rocks. Got to see Guster at Red Rocks with one of my friends, and we absolutely poured. We took a bus, a shuttle service from downtown Denver up there, and we got there, and it just pissed rain for probably an hour, and we just sat in the bus and waited. And then all of a sudden the rain stopped, and it got windy as hell, but it ended up being a pretty beautiful night for a concert. And it was my first time ever being at Red Rocks. It's been on the bucket list for a long time, but I'd never had a chance to get out and see a show there. So it was pretty awesome. And then I hung out for an extra day in Colorado and just went to the movies. Went and saw Zola, went and saw Snake Eyes, and then finally, begrudgingly, realized I was going to have to come home at some point, and so ended up coming back, 2 days ago, and it took me a whole 2 days to be sick of being here once again, and rather than run away this time, I decided that we're going to drink Tito's and build Lego, because that's a slightly better coping mechanism than, arguably, it is a slightly better coping mechanism than getting on an airplane and running away. At least that's what my therapist tells me, but what does she know? All of you guys are good. Square. These guys go in the corners. Yes. Well, and the Legos, just in general, I Like, I have something that has clearly written instructions. I have something where all of the pieces are in individually labeled bags and everything fits together, and you know, this is as close as my life gets to something that works the way it's supposed to. So yeah, I would definitely say that the Lego builds are as much, you know, individual therapy as they are something that's fun to do with everyone else. I actually, with the Bugatti, what was cool was that was the first time that I had like just turned the stream off and done the build, just solo, and recorded everything off of the cameras and like threw them together as time lapse. And it seemed like, is that right? Yeah. It seemed like everybody liked the time lapse, particularly of kind of a crazy complicated one like that where the build was really slow. It seemed like everybody enjoyed that, which was cool. I didn't mind doing that at all. And it was nice to just kind of turn the music up and zone out and just build to my heart's content. I think that might also still be trauma. I mean, the parts are separated out. You know, I mean, they are separated out with the, are you going on this side? Yes. They're separated out by bag. And having rebuilt the gigantic Millennium Falcon, I think you can kind of see it back there behind me. Having rebuilt that son of a bitch from, you know, thousands and thousands of pieces that were just sitting in a Tupperware container, the act of going through and sorting things, at this point, I feel like I can build anything from a pile of Lego, because I had to build it from a pile of Lego. I mean, that being said, there certainly are times when I would separate them out, or at least pull out, like when we did the Harry Potter build, pulling out all the windows and kind of prepping the windows beforehand. Like, there are still times that I think that that's a super good idea, and maybe this is just overconfident me, and it will come back to bite me here shortly. But this so far has been an extraordinarily easy build, and so what I'm hoping is that it ends up not being something that requires a whole lot of prep, but who knows? Why did I just get sniffly all of a sudden? Whew. I muted you for that, so you didn't have to handle that. You're welcome. Just a little bit of on-stream etiquette there. Whew. This one's fine though. I feel like I can see. I think I can see why they put this in the same class as the helmets, because it feels like, especially with the kind of big round middle section of the droid, like it feels kind of in that same. It feels kind of in that same model. I still don't like it, but I think I kind of get it. I'm just gonna go over here. Yeah. And Yeah, now we're getting to all of this, like, bullshit, like, clip on to the side and make it sit at a 45-degree angle. And it's like, alright, whatever. Whatever. We'll do 4 of them this direction, and then we'll do 4 of them that direction. How'd the draft go tonight, Al? Any surprises? Saw the Lakers did a we only have LeBron James for so long and he wants to win titles trade with your boys out there in DC. Yeah. I don't think that surprises me too much. Go there. I wonder how much of that is just because we didn't really get an NBA or an NCAA season, and so like, there's not really a whole lot of hype or fan base demanding certain players, or even a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of beat writers who are real comfortable saying, oh, this team made a terrible pick, because I mean, who the hell knows with all these kids that no one's seen before or that we barely saw. What is taco spaghetti? I will be honest, I feel like it's hard to root for college sports full stop. I just feel like it's not even the one and done that bothers me, as much as it is just that the one and done has made the college programs reveal just exactly how shitty they are on what is basically indentured servitude labor. you know, and it does, and it's not just like I certainly don't want to just pick on basketball. I mean, football is the same way, and you know, it is. It says something when coaches have fought for years and years and years. Don't pay the players. Don't pay the players. Right? Don't let the players move. Don't let the don't let the players be able to transfer without having to sit out a year. The whole time, the coaches are perfectly capable of quitting a program and going and signing a gigantic contract and then, you know, immediately starting to coach. Now they're yelling, don't pay the kids, don't pay the kids, don't pay the kids. And as soon as the kids get paid, now you've got, you know, Alabama bragging to recruits about how much, how big the contracts are that their players are signing, and using that as a way to, you know, recruit kids. Hey, come here. Look what our quarterback who's never played a game is getting paid. Like, it just, I don't know. It just comes across. It just comes across as I don't know, dirty. Dirty doesn't seem to even cover it these days. Yeah, but even the rivalries, like, there were so many of those where the fact that the kids had to stay in school, the fact that the kids didn't have the ability to transfer, you know, the fact that, you know, the professional coaches weren't going to play a kid, you know, straight out of high school unless his name was Garnett or Kobe. Like, those rivalries were built on the gatekeeping of the finances of the game. Like, it was entertaining, and it was certainly something that, especially regionally, you could identify with, you know, a conference or a rivalry. You know, being in North Carolina, obviously, the basketball rivalries are significant and religious in nature. But it's hard for me to look back on that and not realize that, oh shit, I don't know where that piece went. It's hard for me not to realize that all of those rivalries, all of that investment that I had in it, it was all a function of the barriers that had been set up by, you know, the NCAA, and the NBA teams, and, you know, the kids finally got wise to it, and now it's just a business to them too, and that certainly does take some of the joy out of it. All right, there we go. But I don't know. I mean, you've got college sports, you've got the Olympics, where, like, reporters aren't allowed to take pictures with their own phones. None of the athletes are allowed to share footage of the games on social media because, you know, NBC owns the rights, and will postpone it for a year and not require vaccinations. And I don't know. I grew up my whole life watching, playing sports of every kind, and I'm really jaded about the whole sporting landscape at this point. It's hard to be a fan of some of these leagues sometimes. I was just having a conversation with my brother about the looks like the pending trade of Mad Max and Trey Turner to the Dodgers for a whole bunch of whole bunch of prospects. And what you want to say is, you want to say all the right things. You want to say that the Nationals know that they're closing in on the end of their window and they want these guys to go and have a chance to compete for a title and play for a contender. And, if you can get hella prospects back, then, why wouldn't you do it? But what you realize, the dirty secret is that the Nationals trade everyone before they have to pay them. The only person that stayed was Strauss, and that was because he ended up taking a gigantic discount to do it. And, what Max has got a year and a half left on his contract, and Trey's got a year left on his contract, and everybody would have to get paid, and much like their American League twin to the north, the Nationals don't seem interested in paying people. Certainly don't seem interested in paying stars to stay long term. And we'll see what happens with Soto, but my brother thinks that they'll let him go too. And that's he sends me a picture of my nephew in his Trey Turner jersey, and, he's telling me he hasn't even told him yet. He doesn't, kid's going to be devastated that his favorite player is going completely across the country to play. And, it doesn't come down to a baseball decision. It just comes down to a money decision. That's what it is. Hard to be excited about that. And even outside of the specific sport part of it, it's more just, I'm sure it's always been like that, right? Like, the Yankees win titles because the Yankees have more money to spend than everyone else on the planet. Like, this is the way. It has always been the way. It is the reason for how the world spins. But I just feel like it's gotten, maybe we just have so much visibility into it now. It feels like it's just gotten to be it's gotten to be that there is no such thing as loyalty. It doesn't matter who the player is. And if there's loyalty, it is 100% on the part of the player. Because the team, they'll use you until they are done using you. And then you're out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and bitter in my advanced age. Yeah. Old and bitter. That's me. Yeah. Figured I turned 40 and was half dead. And I was like, all right, it's been a good run. Been a good run. We had our glory days. Later, Drew. Have fun. Get some sleep. This'll, if you want to see what they look like, this looks like when it was done. I'll give you a recap at the end, and we'll throw it up on the YouTubes, and you can check it out tomorrow. No worries. Weird. Alright, 6 of these, huh? Six. Oh, now all the little shit. Get the feeling there's going to be a fair amount of this as we go forward. Not super excited. You. Escape. in. Yeah, I can totally see why you feel like that's wobbly, isn't it? It's not terrible, but it's obviously top heavy. And it goes like that. Yeah. I mean, no. There's so much stuff there that I feel like I just missed again. Nope, I didn't. I used a lot of extra pieces. Which just seems kind of ridiculous. Why are there so many extra pieces? What did I do wrong? Like, I'm looking at the picture. I don't see where all these extra pieces are supposed to go. You're sick. Well, thanks for looking out for me. Alright, which way is this going? This is going gray side forward, like. Okay. Bag 4. Bag 4 is tiny. I guess we'll just put those back there. Ooh. Strong. Oh yay. So it looks like these are all the arms. I'm so excited. Or something like that. I'm so excited. There we go. And then we build a little U. This whole thing attaches there. Just keep doing this, huh? See it. It's probably here, and I'm just, oh, there it is, it's hiding in a weird spot. There it is, it's all these weird ass pieces just slammed together in weird ass ways. What the hell is this thing? Like it's a rounder. Nope, it must be that. It's this, but it's not that. It's not that either. What the hell? It's not one of the ones from a previous. Can't be this. That is weird. It can't be that one. Not you. It's not you. Not you. It's not you. Okay. Now I'm puzzled. Might it be one of these crazy things in here? Maybe. Let's open up one of these unmarked bags. And see if there's something in here that... Yep, there it is. Thank you, Lego, for the unmarked bag. Love you. Mean it. Assholes. Right? This whole thing goes... This one goes on underneath. like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Now we got this one. That. Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's fine attached to the base. I wonder if is there other camera view? Oh, look at that! Wow. So I think it's fine attached to the base. It's just stupid to build. Like all these little segments and like, I don't know. What the hell are you trying to do to me? I don't know. I think it just seems like I get that some of the Star Wars builds, I try really hard to make them like not difficult builds, but they try hard to make them detailed. Like they put lots of little pieces on them. Like the Millennium Falcon was absolutely like just bag upon bag of stuff on the outside. It was crazy. I guess, are we going back here again? Yeah, I guess we are. And like it looked good at the end of it, but it was like, Jesus, there's just a bonkers amount of work for what essentially is you know, the add-on portions of the build. Yeah, it's the stupid one. It's the I don't know. Can you see it back there behind me? I think I need to go the other way. Maybe you can see it now. There's I guess you can kind of see the very front of it kind of sticking out there. Yeah, it's the gigantic, enormous kind of stupidly large. It was fun to build the first time. It really was. And I built it with Gretchen. Like we put a picnic table in a folding table in the living room. And it took us, it took us weeks to put it together. Just kind of taking our time, no rush, nothing like that. So that was fun. The first build of it was pretty cool. When I moved, I took all of the Lego, models, and I just wrapped them in. Like I got the saran wrap, the big packing saran wrap. Has like the stick in it. And you just use it to wrap around the dressers and stuff to keep the drawers from coming out. And I just wrapped all the Lego models. And they all did well, except the Millennium Falcon, which was not happy to be picked up, which was not happy to be moved. It was, what the hell is that piece? It ended up kind of, I guess it's this. It ended up basically coming completely apart, which sucked in many, many ways. And so it fell into enough parts that there was really no salvaging it. I mean, it's such a gigantic build. It was such a gigantic build that I just took it apart. Like, I just took it apart. Ended up doing a time-lapse video of putting it all back together. Like, I don't know, the whole deal. It was literally the worst Lego experience I've ever had in my entire life. It was absolutely horrendous. Simply because I guess that just hangs there. Okay. Whatever. Simply because there's so many parts. There's so many little tiny parts. There's so many of the same part. Like, there's hundreds of parts that are identical. And having to pull the whole thing apart and then having to sort everything out into like logical containers, and then sort by color, and then sort by shape, and then you would do like every step on the directions. You would end up spending 3 minutes searching through this huge pile of Lego to find the one small piece that you needed. And it was terrible. Like, if I moved tomorrow and I could not keep the Millennium Falcon together, I swear to you, I would sell it on eBay and at a loss. Like, I would sell it as used on eBay, and then I would go buy a new one simply so I had all the parts in bags with numbers on them. It was that bad. Like, I would gladly pay whatever the eBay price is for the Millennium Falcon right now, brand new in the box, and trade it for one that every single piece is there, but it's been taken out of the box and put together. And I've still got the box. I've still got all the, like, I've got everything. I would never do that build again without having stuff in numbered bags. I just wouldn't do it. Maybe that makes me extra, but it was terrible. It really was just a terrible Lego experience, and that sucks. Now we're gonna do another one of these damn legs, huh? All right. It's funny, there were not a whole lot of pieces in this bag 4 at all, but they're all little itty bitty tiny ones, which makes it take a while. I can totally see where, like, you get to this point and you're just like, nah, I'm good. It's not gonna have any legs. I don't know, have fun with the dishes. piece that I can't find. Did I drop it? Left, and that faces forward. Like that. Okay. And 5. Another deceptively small bag of small pieces. That I'm sure is going to be ridiculous. I feel like maybe I've gotten a little bit better at this. Kind of see where they're going with stuff. And it's a pain in the ass, but at least it appears to be a reasonably predictable pain in the ass. fancy, like hydraulics and shit. Look at that. So fancy. Alright, now we gotta put the little foot part on. So you. Yep, this one looks familiar. Basically the same thing we did on the other side. These things, not you. Do we have to tap into the other unmarked bag? I bet we do. I bet these unmarked bags. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Just 6 in this one. We did this one because it was reasonably short, and honestly because I wasn't looking forward to it at all. I remember hate buying this one just because it was the only one in that set that I didn't have, so I went ahead and bought it. But I think we kind of knocked this one out just because it needed to get done, and we had to finish it up. So what did we just start? Bag 5? Yes, we just started bag 5. It is extraordinarily annoying, and it's all about building. Oh look, I gotta do 2 of those. It's all about building all of these super complicated arms that are supposed to look good but are extremely not functional, and that are all made up of tiny, tiny little pieces. So yeah. That's where we are. I am 2 drinks in. Life is still pretty good. Got a whole brand new handle of Tito's. I'm gonna go that way. So, life could suck more, I guess is what I'm saying. Yes, you go like that. Pinchers and hydraulics and shit. And this one is gonna go back on this side. The gray facing forward, like so. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like this one is less an issue with the hobby and more just an issue with my fucking brain. It just doesn't. I don't know. I have definitely been on the struggle bus here for the last couple months. And I love being able to do the Legos and just kind of zone out for a while. But I've been doing way more buying of Legos than I have building of Legos here recently. So I figured tonight was a good night to buy some liquor and sit down and knock these out. I don't think I have anything on my calendar until like noon tomorrow. One of the joys of working for a company based on the West Coast while living on the East Coast. Both of these are from here. These little extra bags of widgets, Al, are kind of weird. Yeah, like I spent a week on the West Coast visiting friends, and I am not a morning person to begin with, and having to do the like all your meetings start at 8 a.m., which is a nice happy 11 a.m. for me on the East Coast. It was like, wow, this is like legit work that has to be done and stuff. Not a fan. Plus, I don't know. I mean, housing is kind of expensive everywhere. But man, West Coast is its own world when it comes to stupid housing prices. It's unbelievable. Which way are you going? Like that and that. Yeah, now we're getting into what you were talking about, Al. Here, let's it's very limp. It just kind of wobbles around. You can't really pose it or do anything with it. It just kind of sits there. So we were talking about it earlier. So I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I get probably, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 4 cash offers for my house a month. Like literally people just saying, we would like to write you a check. Can we have your house, please? One of them was even, we would like your house, but feel free to take your time because we know you probably haven't been looking for something new. And they just want to buy all the houses. And I'm assuming that it's because they've realized that part of what's driving the costs is just being able to control the inventory. But it's just ridiculous. And my house, the price of my house has gone up 9% in 30 days. Like, that's not, like, I'm not good with that. Like, that's not how any of this is supposed to work. And inevitably, whether it's the banking industry, like inevitably that ends up blowing up. We've seen how this plays out. So I've got friends who are selling their house and who are kind of seeing a windfall out of it, particularly folks who, what piece is that? It's not one of those. Folks who already have somewhere else that they're living, don't have to look to buy a new house. But and they're making good money out of it, and you know, I'm happy for them. Whatever. Did I fuck that up? Do I care? I don't think I do. I'm just going to move those to the other side. And I'm telling everybody, like, if you have the ability to get out of your house at this point, like, take the money and run. You know, those of us who bought before 2007, we suffered through the immense drop in value. So if you're looking to buy them as property, like as investments, like maybe not a great idea, but like if you've got the ability to turn a house into cash, this seems like an epically good time to do it. All right, and this one is going to go here. Oh, yep, there. Okay. Good enough. Yeah, and the whole I may never be able to buy a home, like, I mean, the boomers did it to everybody, but, you know, certainly no one has slowed it down. Like, just the idea that, like, it boggles my mind that you would legitimately be stuck not being able to buy a home. Like, I mean, maybe it's not, you know, maybe it's not the, you know, the home of your dreams, and the whole idea, like, my first house was you know, basically a starter, you know, starter single family home, and, you know, we've moved since then, and like, it's baffling to me. Like, I know coworkers who, you know, are making good money, who just will never have enough cash to put down to meet the basics of a mortgage, and then, you know, have the ability to make their payments and stuff. And it's just like, it is amazing to me that in a generation, we've gone from, you know, or I guess 2 generations, we've gone from my grandparents having a mortgage of $36 and owning a home literally until they both died, to, you know, investment banks speculating on home prices and buying up inventory, and, you know, banks creating financial vehicles out of mortgage debt, and like, it's crazy to me how quickly we got to this place where, you know, we used to do redlining. You guys know what redlining is, right? Where they would just make it so that it was, you know, practically impossible for minority neighborhoods to get access to the same housing loans or business loans, or, you know, the capital that makes life work in America. You weren't allowed to have it. And it feels like we've taken that to another level, gatekeeping against, you know, anyone who wants that ideal of buying a home and settling down, and, you know, maybe getting a little bit of investment income out of it, or renting it out at some point. Like, we've just said, nope, that game is only for the people who already have more money than they know what to do with. Yeah, when I feel like as we've progressed out of a place where you can be kind of overtly racist about, we don't want those people here. What we have switched to instead is we don't want people who don't have as much money as us here. And it's become kind of this weird thing where there's no reason for it, right? I mean, like, construction costs haven't gone up that much, and the labor to do the building hasn't gone up that much, and land prices, depending on where you live in the country, haven't gone up that much, and yet, interest rates have gone down, and still it's impossible for people to afford their first home. And that's not just the natural way of things, right? Like, that's not just, that's just how capitalism works. Like, no, that feels to me like it has been, that is a feature, not a bug. People it is hurting are the people that it is specifically designed to be hurting. But nobody will stand up and say, this is bad and we should protect people from this, because that's what governments are supposed to do. Everything's a mess. Including this build. I'm with you, Al. Like, we've gotten to the point in this build where I'm just like, can we be done now? This bummer stuff. Yeah, fucking reality. How dare you bum us out with your reality? What kit number is this? This is this one. So it's kit number 75306. It was one of the three that they released all together with the Scout Trooper helmet and the Darth Vader helmet. And this was the one where they released all three of them, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I need all three of them. There are things I need to do here. I need to put you... And here's the shitty thing, like, Al's not wrong. It's a, I don't know. I feel like the probe droid was a stupid model to make anyway. Like, whatever, it's fine, I mean, at this point, if Lego puts out something reasonably interesting with a Star Wars logo on it, people are going to buy it. And obviously, I bought it. But it's just not a... doesn't seem like something people were clamoring, especially when, like, the helmets are cool. The helmets are cool. Like, I really like the helmets. The Boba Fett helmet, or the Stormtrooper helmets. Like, the helmets are cool. And then they throw this fucking thing in there. They're like, oh, look, it's part of the same line. Like, no, it's not. It's not part of the same line at all. Why are you doing this to me? Right in the middle. And this whole thing goes here. Oh, well, all right, so cats are just evil creatures with no souls, and of course they would find something that, you know, requires a significant amount of work to rebuild and shit all over it. Like, of course they would. Why wouldn't they? But that's one of the reasons why there will never be a cat in the house here, because, oh my god, between the Lego and the electronics and the trains, like, I would have that cat in a burlap sack and thrown into the river in, 3 seconds flat. I don't think we would get along very well. These things. Yeah. I feel like cats are like the closest to humans from a personality standpoint, in that they are 100% selfish and self-certain. Like, a cat will do anything. It'll be as cute as you want it to be in order to get what it wants. And then if it doesn't want something from you, it'll just be spiteful. They really are. They really are just evil creatures. And I struggle with the whole pet thing in concept anyway. Man, cats. Whew. Cats are rough for me. Just one more thing to put on the list of proof that Jeremiah is a terrible human. Where does this go? Okay. Where are all these little pieces here? Yeah, here, I'll show you. That's how bored I am with this board. So the two other ones... shit. Get over here. The two other ones that were released at the same time is the Scout Trooper and Darth Vader. So they released 3. They released these 2 and then the probe droid. And they're all kind of in similar boxes and they all kind of look the same. And they all kind of look the same, but I don't know. It just feels very out of place. And the rest of them, there's a Boba Fett, there's a, let me see, we did them on stream. Where's my dashboard? We did. There's a TIE Fighter, a black TIE Fighter helmet, and a Stormtrooper helmet, and a Boba Fett helmet. So those were the first 3, and then these are the second 3. And the helmets are kind of cool. Like just the whole concept of you've got the helmet on the stand and it sits up there. And then you've got this fucking probe droid. It's just like, really? This is what we're gonna do? No, it does not. It does not fit the model, and it was kind of released in a way where I kind of felt OCD pressured into buying it anyway, which is certainly not Lego's fault. Like my idiot self that just keeps buying things is certainly not Lego's problem, but it yeah, I'm with Al. We did this one just because it needs to get done. We need to finish it up, and then we need to move on. So okay, I think that's all the pieces. Yep. Yeah, there you go. And I've got, when we finish this one up and we go to put it over there, I'll take the, you know what, I bet. Oh, we'll figure that out. See, my brain just started jumping ahead of itself. When we get done, I'll take a camera over into the library with me, and I'll show you guys all the rest of the stuff that's over there. I think this should be finished up here in just a couple minutes. Yeah, I cleared off space. I moved them around a little bit so that I had space for the other ones. The big thing I'm trying to debate now is, do I even put the probe droid over there with it, or do I just, like, the probe droid doesn't take up much space. I can find somewhere to put it that isn't, like, with the rest of the, pieces, but. Okay. There. I'm going to do a modified version of that last one. weirdo. That is cool. Yeah, I did, I've done Legos basically my whole life. When I grew up in Germany, and between Legos and Playmobil, they were always there. They were always around. It was always a gift we were getting, or the fuck is that? Like building them out of the box, or just having gigantic buckets of Lego that we could build anything that we wanted to. We had a big Lego box that had all sorts of compartments in it and stuff. And it was pretty baller. What is that piece? Is it that one? Yes. It's another one of those pulled out of the pile of little pieces. You built this one, so you know, but there's like 2 bags, unmarked bags, of just stuff. Like really weird shaped, like this one looks like a pizza cutter. Or, I don't know, like weird shaped stuff. And they don't tell you, hey, it's in that little extra bag that we gave you. And so you just basically have to frustrate yourself to the point where you start looking somewhere else. And then they're like, oh yeah, sorry dude, we put that one over in that bag. Apologize. can't. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. I had to rebuild the big Millennium Falcon from scratch. And had to sort all, what is that, like 7,000 pieces? I don't even remember how many pieces the Millennium Falcon has. It's ridiculous. It was, I think until here recently, it was the most pieces ever in a Lego set. And I just had Tupperware bin after bin after bin. I just remember sitting there going, I could just throw all this away. I could. No one would know. I could just throw it away and buy another one. I could throw it away, buy another one, have it here, and have it built faster than it will be to try to build one with all of this shit on it from all of these individual pieces. No one would know. But I didn't. Let's do more little tiny nonsense pieces. Yay! Huzzah! All right. And gray glass goes there. I would have just sold it on eBay. I was tempted to use like a chemical solvent to bond all the pieces together when I was rebuilding it. Because the problem was like moving, it just wasn't, I couldn't, I mean, it's so big. There's just no good way to move it and keep everything together. And like I thought as I was rebuilding it, I was like, I could just super glue it together, which would make easing it, make putting it together a little bit easier. I forget what the stuff is. My daughter uses it for all of her painting and arts and crafts and stuff, but it basically, like it looks like rubbing alcohol. But you paint them and you set them together, and within like 30 seconds, it actually bonds them into a single piece of plastic. And so there's no undoing it. There's no rinsing it off or anything like that. Like they are joined together forever. And I was like, I'm kind of okay with that. But then I figured if something did happen and I did want to sell it, it would end up being a nightmare to try and sell it in a way that you couldn't take it apart. So I decided discretion was the better part of valor and left it as is. Where we were supposed to be? This way. Let's start with you. look, there's all sorts of little pieces that I must have completely skipped a step. Speaking of making mistakes, oh, that's better. At least now it makes more sense for all the stuff that's having me put on there. It doesn't really go there. It does if you don't screw it up, dumbass. And there. Now even more wings. We're almost done with this one, boys. Almost done. And a flat. Three, four, one. Right there. Some stickers for the top. That. And a silver thing. this whole thing goes like that. That's it. There we go. I mean, there it is. Wobbly legs, wobbly head. I don't know. It's done. It just kind of sucks. All right, I'm going to, let's see if we can't do a little, see if we can't do a little remote. All right. I don't know that I'll have audio. I mean, the mic will still work, but I'll just have to yell because I don't have the headset in. But we're going to take this over, and I'll show you the rest of the stuff that's over there. All right. Let's So, yeah, that's all of it. It wasn't a terrible build. It didn't take forever. Yeah, the Firefly was cool because they've never made a Firefly model, and I found a dude online who back in the day had actually put it into the Discovery program so that, you know, if you get enough votes, you could turn it into a model. And Lego rejected it because I think it was a Fox property, or I don't know what the deal was, violence or guns or something. And he ended up just selling kits for a while, and then he was just selling the instructions with the parts list. And so I bought the parts list off of Bricklink, and like it ended up being super cool. So the question was, where do I get the? Yeah, definitely unofficial. That's another one of those ones you don't pick up too much. But the place I get the stands is called. It's called Wicked Brick. WickedBricks.com. No. It must be WickedBrick.com. There we go. All right, so I'll flip over to here. So this place is called Wicked Brick, and they do, Jesus, stop asking me for stuff. They do all sorts of cases and displays. So you can look at like displays just for Lego, and we can do just Star Wars. And so they've got those acrylic display cases for kind of everything, and they're fantastic. Like I mean, they will do display cases, or they'll do like full. Yes, it is. They're not super expensive, but they can certainly get up there. And so you can do display cases for minifigs. You can do the stands or the cases. Like there's the case for the original 3 helmets that came out. And so if you didn't have somewhere that you wanted to be able to put them, you could do it. You could do it straight from there. I'm just saying, how's it gonna let me go back? That's a good question. But they're awesome, and they've got them for all of them. They've got them for the Harry Potter stuff. They've got it for like the Bugatti. They're great. Like I've never had any problems. If you've got Funko or if you've got other stuff, but they'll even do like for the architecture stuff. Like they'll do cases that include kind of appropriate backgrounds, so that when you put the White House in front of it, it actually looks like the White House. Yeah, they really do a good job of kind of making it, and you've got ones here where it's actually got the name and stuff in it. Like it turns the toys into displays, and so for people who are actually looking to display this stuff, it's a great way to do it. So all of those displays that I have over there are all from Wicked Bricks. They're based out of the UK. It was pretty hard to get stuff during the pandemic because they were all shut down. And now it just sounds like they're busy and might be a little bit over the top. They do some wall mounts too. These are actually really cool. So for people who collect minifigs, like they do entire wall mounted display cases for minifigs. They do these really cool tiered ones that are for, what is that window that keeps popping up there? where they're like modular and you build them together and then you make them kind of as tall as you want to and the number of positions that you want, and then you build them out. So it's pretty modular. But yeah, they're cool, and it's all just you know, ABS plastic. It works, at least in my experience so far. They work super well. So I've had no issues whatsoever, except apparently with whatever this website is doing. It's just ridiculous. No, didn't want to put anything in my cart. Huh. It's interesting that it won't let me pull down the actual toolbar anymore. Anyway, yeah, so Wicked Bricks is where I pick all of that stuff up. The Bricklink used to be a standalone, like you could go buy, you know, like the MOCs for the Serenity and stuff like that. And I think Lego bought them, so now it's all official, and you can actually get like good deals on bricks and stuff like that. So it worked out pretty well. All right, it's a little bit after midnight. I'm going to continue drinking. I'm gonna make it cleaned up here, and then I think we're gonna do that one next. So might be tomorrow morning, might be later in the afternoon. We'll have to see kind of how the day goes. But thanks for hanging out. That was fun. Glad I got to share a little bit of the Lego library with you guys. But I appreciate it. So have a good night. Be safe, and I'll catch you guys on here next time. Later, guys.